Welcome to this video in which we're going to show you how we created the cables we used in our conductor test. In this test we used 5 materials, different materials to, determine the influence of used material in a single-ended interlink. This is a silver cable we're creating right here. It's 5N silver, so it's pretty pure. It has a small coating, a thin coating for insulation already, but we're going to use our insulator tubes anyway. It's PTFE, Teflon, so it's a widely used material for insulation. You see me pushing the conductor through it. It's not a very nice job to do, to be honest. And we used our LCR to determine the influence of twisting as well. You'll see that later on in the video. And I needed to use a cloth in this case to get the conductor through the PTFE tubes, because sometimes they get stuck and it's really tough to push them through. Now I'm telling you about the, I spoke it in Dutch, so this is an English voiceover. I need to remove the insulator material, of course, to be able to solder the plugs on the cable. I used a sharp knife for that. And now I'm just gonna test the conductance of the cable without any plugs to see how much loss the plug will bring. As you can see, it's around 40 Siemens, which is good for silver. Well, it's normal for a 1 meter cable, pure silver 1 millimeter. You can actually calculate it. So 40 Siemens is about right. And now I'm gonna solder the plugs on the cable. We used Nutric Pro plugs for this, and they work very well. It's really nice to work with them. So this is the first conductor we're gonna solder on, and we used the silver as a ground wire as well. In one cable we used copper graphene with a silver ground cable, and it's actually different. So the ground cable has an influence on sound. What I'm doing right now is wrong. I pushed it in from the bottom, but you can't close the plug if you do it that way. So now I have to cut the wire to make it flush, and it was not a great job to do that, I can tell you. I don't have a small pair of pliers, so it was tough to get it off. But eventually it worked, and I can close the plugs, as you can see. And I can really advise the Nutric Pro plugs. I really love them. They work very, very well. But I did a lot of stuff wrong the first time I made a cable. I don't make a lot of cables, so I do a lot of stuff wrong actually. Like insulating the 2 wires. It was not a neat job. The sleeve needs to be on first before you actually start making the cable, which I didn't the first and second time. So it took a lot of time to create the first cable, including fixing the twist. That was something I got right after the third cable or something. I'm measuring which cable is the live and the ground, so I don't swap them in the other plug. Well, I did that at least right. And one other thing that was pretty funny, there are 2 plugs in one box, a red and a black one, and you need 2 pairs, of course, and I swapped them every time. So red to black, black to red. There was also something that was funny to see. But like I said, I don't make a lot of cables, and this was pure for testing. But you will notice that there is a black and a red plug on a lot of cables we created. So the first one is finished now, at least one of the pairs, and I'm measuring if it's all correct, so I can do my first measurements for conductance, capacitance, impedance and stuff like that. This is the conductance test I did again to see what the loss is in a plug, and it was around 1.4, 1.5 Siemens, I think. And that's about right. It's less than I thought. It was 1.7 Siemens. It's less than I thought. I mean, that's not a lot to lose in a plug. Two plugs to be exact, because well, you connect it to both ends. So that's not bad. And it was about the same for all the cables. So the soldering was correct in all the cables. This is the capacitance I'm measuring right now. That's around 20 picofarad, which is not bad. And you need to know that we recalibrated the machine in between every cable. So we measure one, we recalibrate it and measure it again. You don't actually really need to, but you know, temperature differences can be pretty big after an hour in that server room. So we recalibrated it anyway. Now you can see how we measured with and without a twist. This is the inductance, and it's 1.6 microhenries, which is pretty bad actually. It's not great. And as you can see, we're gonna measure the impedance right now. And it's fascinating to see the differences between with and without a twist in the cable. And that's also something we wanted to determine, because it will determine how we're going to create the other cables. Well, 3.1 ohms is a lot for a 1 meter cable. So next step was to create a twist in the cable and measure it again. And the differences are stunning, actually. This is with a twist, as you can see. And we are going to measure it again. And this is, I think we're doing the impedance measurement right now. Like I said, creating the twist and keeping the twist was not as easy as we thought. Okay, no. As you can see, there are a lot of things that are hard because the cable was pretty stiff, a lot stiffer than we thought. Now we're going to measure it again. And you will notice that the impedance is a lot lower after twisting the cable. So that's one of the reasons that cable manufacturers twist their cables. It lowers the impedance of the cable, which is a good thing, of course, because you don't want high impedance in your cables. The next step was to measure the inductance again with the twist, and we measure the capacitance again as well. And you can see that the capacitance and the inductance change as well, of course. The inductance is a lot lower and the capacitance only slightly rose. So that was a good sign. The balance is a lot better in a twisted cable than a non-twisted cable. So parallel cables in a signal cable like an RCA interlink is not great. Here you can see we have the graphene. It was twisted on some foam in a nice casing. It's really expensive material. It was 150 euros a meter because it's single crystal copper with graphene with a graphene layer, very thin graphene layer. But graphene is the best conducting material in the world right now. So we were really curious about the performance. Well, getting it in the PTFE tube was quite a challenge, honestly. But yeah, we managed. And eventually we used a cloth to push it through, and it was fine according to Google because we looked up some information on graphene. But unfortunately, one of the strings, 1 meter strings, broke. And we had to cut it in half. Here you see, by the way, the conductance. It was really high. And here you can see we had to cut some wires to create two shorter versions. Well, first we thought, oh no, that's the end of our test. But no, luckily it isn't. Because we just tried to hear a difference between a longer and a shorter version, and you can't hear it, actually. You can measure it, but it's inaudible. So we decided to go on and create a hybrid cable from the 1 meter version we still had on our bench. So we created a version with a graphene signal conductor and a silver ground conductor. And it was funny because you can actually hear the difference. The ground has an influence on sound. Well, we created it the same way with a light twist in the cable. and this way we created all the cables. So we hope you like this video in which we show you how we created the cables and how we did this test behind the scenes. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, and if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. We need all the subscribers we can have, and hope to see you back soon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.